It started recording.
All right, welcome back to the sports podcast from Thayer Academy. Coming to you live with Jack Thorbon, Jalen Cardoso, Tara Jean, Colin Fallon, and myself. First and foremost, I want to mention our faculty advisor or mentor through this now vlog, I guess. It's Mr. McVarish, Jim McVarish. He wanted to get in on the little questionnaire that we did last episode. So he went to college at Penn State, University of Lowell, and Bridgewater State. His favorite athlete is Bobby Orr. His favorite band is AC/DC. And his celebrity crush is a toss-up, either Alexandra Daddario or Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Both very attractive.
Yes. So agree on all measures there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, NFL schedule came out. We're looking at pretty much complete rosters. You know, some things are frozen. We'll see what happens, see where some guys land, but that's what we're talking about today.
Cool.
We all have some games we're thinking about talking about, and I think we get it started with, in my opinion, the best game of week one, Bucks versus Saints. In New Orleans, 4:25 on Fox.
In the dome.
Game.
In the dome.
As a Buccaneer against the Saints. You know, it's an interesting game. Obviously, Saints team, same roster, pretty much been together 3 years. Add Emmanuel Sanders. But Breeze's, career, especially recently, they tend to struggle in week one. Tom comes out hot week one. Obviously, new team, not a lot of time together. I want to say the Bucks win, but I really do. But I think I got to say they lose in a shootout first week.
Score?
I'm going to go with 35-31.
Definitely see that happening.
It's way too early to tell, but how many TDs for Brady?
In the season or the game?
Game.
Say 4.
I agree with you there with the Bucks losing. I think the Saints take it. I think the Bucks will still be fresh with getting some connection down, some chemistry, and I think the Saints are really building off something from the previous year. So I think they'll be coming out firing. Even I think they've been disappointed themselves for the past couple of years for not making it farther in the playoffs. So I think there'll be a little revenge tour for them.
I like that.
I'm gonna also go with the Saints taking the dub, but I don't see it being a really close game. I feel like the Saints squad has built up a lot of chemistry. Drew Brees knows his guys. Sean Payton knows his guys. And on the other hand, Tom Brady is joining a new franchise. And things may take a little while to
Come on.
That's annoying.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
All right, so I'll –
No, stop it. Get him back. And
I
then
know Colin has a few things to say.
I'll edit it.
all right. Pretend like it never happened.
Yeah, or I can just keep it in. Fallon, you want to go ahead?
Talk to him, Brady, Colin.
So, I think that week one matchup is going to might be my favorite game to watch next year. And I think I think it'll be a little closer than Jalen thinks. I think the Bucks are going to lose by a field goal, maybe even a touchdown, but I think Brady's going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin will probably get one apiece, and then the boy Gronk will also be getting a touchdown. But, yeah, I just think that the Saints' chemistry, especially week one, and especially because there might not be a training camp, the chemistry for the Bucks will be a little bit off.
Jalen, you want to finish what you're saying?
Yeah, technical difficulties, but I was just saying how Brady's chemistry with his squad is not going to be nearly as close as Breeze, and to go with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. So I got a score prediction of 28-17, Saints taking the dub.
Yep.
TJ?
Well, Michael Thomas, I think he might be top three receivers, and his game's probably I think he's gonna have a game and score 35-24. 21 Saints. I think they do that to them.
Gotcha.
Good. All right. So I think my next favorite matchup is little revenge match Chiefs versus the Ravens from the 2019 season. I think Chiefs grabs the dub. I think they're still so explosive from last season. They didn't lose anyone. They gained a new running back. Tyreek Hill, hopefully he's gonna be full health for the season. Travis Kelce's looking good. Mahomes is gonna be even better. So I think that the Ravens will have their hands full facing off against them.
Where is the game?
It is at Baltimore. So
Oh, okay. Wow.
I still think they're gonna do it.
Gotcha.
I don't think the Ravens will be as dominant as they were last year. I don't know. I don't think Lamar can do what he did last year now with the NFL seeing him and what he can do last season. I think they're going to be able to scheme against him, try to figure out a way to stop him. I know it's a hot take, and I know people might disagree, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I believe.
I have to, it's a tough game, obviously, because the Ravens are just so dominant. I think the Chiefs, with how high-powered they are, if they get ahead and you make Lamar throw and, you can't really run those big 3 tight end sets later in the game and they have to try and push the ball down the field with his arm, it's going to be tough for them to win. They can do it, but I also like the Chiefs, and especially, you look at what Tennessee did in the playoffs. Teams will start scheming that way, trying to get that lead against Lamar. If they can do that, I like the Chiefs because they're so high-powered, having a good chance. Other NFL teams maybe not, but the Chiefs, I think, are built to try and scheme well for that game.
You get attack defenses everywhere.
In my opinion, I think Lamar has a lot more to work on this summer than Mahomes, and he has a lot more aspects of his game where he can improve, such as the actual passing and decision making. And the last time that these two teams faced off, it was a shootout. The Chiefs ended up taking the win. But in other news, I saw that Marquise Brown or Hollywood Brown has really been in the gym this summer, and I guess he was kind of playing with an injured foot. And I think that now that he's put on about 20 pounds, now that he looks more like a NFL wide receiver, he could be Lamar's legit number 1 target. I know he was last year, but I think and I think he'll definitely help along with the improvement in Lamar. And we didn't exactly get to see the Ravens and Chiefs in the playoffs like we wanted to because the Ravens got knocked off. But I think the Ravens will come different next year, and I got them winning in a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Score. I think there's gonna be a lot of offense, but not like the Rams Chiefs. But I'm gonna say 38-34 Ravens.
I'm excited to see the hopefully they run a little 2-back option with J.K. Dobbins and Ingram. Some RPOs out of that. I think what they did with the RG3 last year and have J.K. Dobbins play like that, I think it's gonna be kind of cool.
Colleen.
Yeah, so I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to destroy the Ravens.
Oh.
Patrick Mahomes, I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. He has a top 5 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill, top 2, top 3 tight end in Travis Kelce. Great offensive line. That running back from LSU that they drafted seemed pretty good. And I think they're winning that game 40-20, like 41-24 final score.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, Colin. Colin, me and you always argue about this. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, like every time. But I think Lamar is going to come in stronger, and the Ravens probably had top 3 best draft, picking up Patrick Queen and J.K. Dobbins, great running back from Ohio State. So, I mean, the Chiefs They didn't do as bad in the draft. They picked up a couple of guys too. But I think the score is going to be 51-54 Ravens.
Wow.
It's going to be a shootout. Offense.
Big game.
A shootout.
A lot of points.
Yeah.
All right. Who's got the next game?
You know what game I think is going to be a good one? I think the Cowboys' new offense for Seahawks.
You think so?
I think so. I think
The Cowboys are bothering me every single year. I'm
Yeah,
getting ready for
much
them
so.
to explode, and every single year it's just a bunch of excuses, and they don't do anything.
I don't know. I don't know. I think Dak has been growing this whole time. I think with CeeDee Lamb wearing 88, maybe tossing up the X. I think this offense could have that little like gas pedal that they needed. They just need to like some other weapon to explode them or just
How far do you guys see the Cowboys going? Because I feel like they have one of the best offensive rosters in the NFL. So what do you think was their problem?
I think they win. I think they win their division. I think it comes down to it's a close battle between the Eagles and them, but I think they win the division. I think they go into wild card week and I think they lose. I don't know.
Thing with the Cowboys for me is they lost Byron Jones. So I'm interested in seeing, how their defense does this year. But, they got good tackling linebackers. They got Van Der Esch.
Yeah.
They got Jalen Smith. They still got Sean Lee. They got the tank, DeMarcus Lawrence. So their front seven's great. But, I'm interested in seeing how the secondary does and, if Dak can take care of the ball this year.
Yep.
All right. Next game. I got a game. It is a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Week 9, Packers at 49ers.
At 49ers.
Yeah. So do you guys see a repeat of what happened last year? Do you see a close game?
I think you know what I see? I see the Packers falling apart this year. I think the Jordan Love thing is gonna get under Rodgers' skin. And it's just gonna they didn't draft a wide receiver. I don't know. I just don't see the Packers being as dominant as they were last year. Well, they they were up and down team, but they were good. I think the 49ers will just step on them. Being pissed off what happened last season. They should have had the Super Bowl, but
look, I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan maybe making Jimmy only throw the ball 8 times again because that seemed to work for them in the NFC Championship game, and I would stick with that. They lost Breida. They still have a good back set. Raheem Mostert, good. Jerick McKinnon coming back. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I do still like the Mostert and Tevin Coleman backfield. Kittle, best blocking tight end right now outside of Gronk coming back. So I'm interested. I see the Niners winning this game, but I don't think Rodgers is going to go down lightly, just like, he doesn't very often.
Yeah, he'll battle. But who do the 49ers get in the draft for wide receiver? They got somebody, right? Somebody late.
They drafted, I think, he went to Arizona State. So
Yeah, they did.
So
he's anything like the team.
And it's kind of interesting. They obviously lost Emmanuel, and Marquise Goodwin got traded. Where did he get?
The Eagles.
So I don't know. They don't have the Emmanuel. I feel like that was a good weapon for them last year. So I don't know.
Yeah. So one thing I'm gonna say is unpopular opinion. I viewed the Niners season last year as a fluke.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think their offense was already a weak side to them, and they kind of came and hit the dirt with the run and caught a lot of teams off guard. Nobody saw Breida and Mostert running over teams, but teams will come in like not respecting Jimmy's arm. Jimmy lost one of his best receivers, so I think offense is going to be a problem. And then on the defensive side, I think last season they just had everything going together, but I don't know if they'll come close to repeating what they did last season. So in this game, I saw something that said that Rodgers is going to come with a different type of passion now that Jordan Love is there to show them that he's not going anywhere, that he has a lot in the tank, and especially in a game like this, he has a lot to prove to his management, create like unbelievably. But I see the Packers smoking the Niners in this game. I'm gonna have the Niners scoring about 12 points to Aaron Rodgers' 24.
I do love the like Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith on the Packers. I think they're just nasty for them. So I'm excited to see what they do this year. What were you gonna say, Fallon?
Yeah, I think that the Niners are gonna smoke the Packers. The Packers had a terrible draft.
There's no close game with Fallon.
Yeah, with their first two
We're
picks,
also
they
listening to the
drafted
biggest
two
George
best
Kittle fan of all time.
They drafted AJ Dillon in the second round when their second best player
What's
this
that
year
gonna do?
Jones guy. I forget his name,
Put
but
Devontae Adams.
yeah, they have Devontae Adams, but who else at receiver do they have? And I think the 49ers, they just got stronger at where they were already strong at, but in a good way. On the D-line, they got Javon Kinlaw, 13th pick, cheap salary, good for them. Great player. He was like the top 2 D tackle according to most experts. So I like that pick. They bolstered their receiver core, which was good. And they went after players who they thought could make a big impact next year. And I think that's going to happen. And they're going to have a repeat of the season, maybe 13 wins.
Jalen, I have a question for you. Do you see Aaron Rodgers finishing his career with the Packers, or is he going to move on?
I do see him finishing with the Packers, and I say sometime within the next 4 years he'll call it quits. But I also see him coming to his senses and taking Jordan Love under his wing and realizing that they brought him there for the future of the Packers. And as selfish as he may think, he won't be the guy when he gets a little older, and they're just trying to look out for their future. And I really like Jordan Love, so I think with the right mentorship, he might be the next good QB.
What about you, Tara? What do you think? What do you think about this game, and what do you think about Rodgers?
Well, the Packers know what they're doing, so Rodgers is just going to compete, and he's going to get better. And also on AJ Dillon, I'm really high on him. He's a good player. And they dropped Williams and Jones in free agency, so that's a really good running back to pick up. And they're going to do the same thing. Another close game. 21-24. Green Bay winning.
I like that. Another game I want to look at before we start looking at individual players is the, I believe is Week 12 matchup of the Buccaneers versus the Chiefs in Tampa Bay. No, I got to say, Week 12, week before a bye for the Bucs. I do like the Bucs in this game. Might be my Brady bias, but I think by this time he's hitting the stride with those stud receivers he's got. That defense is good front seven. If they can get some pressure on Mahomes, maybe that's going to force some turnover. Maybe that's going to give the Bucs some good field position, take their shots downfield. And I like it in a high-scoring game, but a two-possession game. I'm thinking 31-21 or maybe 35-24, somewhere in that range.
I'm thinking this is a game like the Rams versus the Chiefs in 2018. That massive, I think it was a Monday night shootout. Got from the 50s. I think it's going to be like one of those games. No defense, strictly offense, deep bombs all day.
I like
Speaking
it.
of defense, what do you guys think of the Buccaneers defense? Do you think it's unfair the way they're judged, or are they stuck?
They're putting way too much stock into it. I think it's still young, but they got that, like I said, a good front seven. And it goes both ways. They're like looking at this DVOA and they're saying, oh, wow, it's a top 5 DVOA team. And it's like, but how much does that really mean? They still lost 9 games. They still made mistakes. But then you also got to look at Jameis Winston turned the ball over 42 times. So that's, 42 times they could be playing on short field. And then, there's a lot of pick sixes there too. So I think it goes both ways. I think you got to take what people are saying, myself included, with a grain of salt about the Buccaneers defense.
So this game, go ahead.
I think they have potential. I agree with Jax's.
So this game, you said Week 12, right?
Yes.
This game, both teams will be rolling, but I think the Buccaneers will be rolling like hotter than ever. Tom Brady will have his squad, his chemistry all down by then. I mean, man has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Like you already know the deal. But I do not see them. I think Andy Reid won't take this game lightly. And I think Brady, with that championship mindset that he has, won't take it as serious as maybe a Patrick Mahomes. But I do see it being a close game. But in the end, I think the Chiefs just have the better team on both sides of the ball. So I'm gonna go 24-21 Chiefs.
I think I disagree there with Brady's mindset going into the game. I think he wants to. He's still proving everyone wrong. I think he wants to prove to everyone that he's better than Mahomes and that he still got it. He's still got that. I don't know. He wants to prove that to everyone that he's better than Mahomes. I think he's gonna come out and really show some new fire with that new offense. So
Yeah.
he finally has weapons. He finally has some really good weapons he can use.
I think that the Chiefs are going to win that game. I know that Brady, he'll be having his mojo by then, but Patrick Mahomes, I think he's going to win MVP this year, throw for a lot of touchdowns, and especially with it being like week 12, right, you said, and they haven't had their bye week yet. You know, I hate to say this, Brady's kind of getting up there. A week of rest would really help him by then. So, you know, after that, I think he'll be on a new quarterback, but I think week 12, he'll be looking a little slow. They'll still score like 20, but I think the Chiefs are going to win 34-20.
Cool. I want to talk about some individual fair player predictions for 2020 season.
Oh, hold on. TJ, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. So, like, Colin, I'm gonna bring it back. I agree with you. Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna be playing really well, but only for one reason, and that's because he wants to beat out Lamar, but he's not gonna be able to. Like, I'm sorry. So, in order to beat out Lamar, he's gonna have to beat Brady. Which I think is gonna happen. But Thorban, on your point, Brady's gonna be playing really well by then. But I don't think he's gonna be playing better than Patrick Mahomes. Like, I'm sorry to say.
We'll have to wait and see.
I'm sorry to say. Score. It's gonna probably another close game. 35-38. Chiefs win.
I like that. All right. So I think, we were also thinking, look at a few teams, records, some key teams, and also a few stats. So do we want to go teams first or players first?
I kind of have an idea that builds off the team thing. I just want to go division by division, and we put the teams in order by standings.
All right. Where are we starting?
Like that.
So of course we're gonna start with the. Why don't we start with the AFC East? So we got the Pats, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
All right.
I see finishing one. Who you see 2, 3?
Are we saying records too, or
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, just 1, 2, 3.
And we'll pick some individual teams for records.
Okay.
All right. I guess I'll start. Everyone, this one's tough for me because everyone's picking the Bills to take that next step. But, as a Patriots fan, we've watched the Bills so much. And when have they taken that next jump? I know this is a different roster. They got Josh Allen. A lot of people like him, but
I like Stephon Diggs in there now.
Yeah, they got Diggs, but is it gonna mesh? I don't know. I'm not the biggest Allen fan. He's got all the talent. I'm not big on his decision making, but he could prove me wrong, take the next step, and if he does, good for him. I'm gonna have the Bills winning the division. The Pats coming in second. Pats and Dolphins, I'm gonna have interchangeable at second and third. I think it'd go either way. Pats with the experience with Bill Belichick, I see them taking second, pushing maybe a wild card spot, and I got the Jets at the bottom.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I don't think the Jets will be good at all. I just don't think they know what to do. I think, Bills, Pats, Dolphins, Jets.
I think the Dolphins had a very strong draft. Of course, bringing in Tua. And on the flip side, the Jets didn't have a terrible draft. I know they brought in a few guys to reinforce their O-line what it may be. But at the end of the day, I don't think they brought in enough to make a run in that division. So I'm going to start with the Jets at the bottom. And then for that first spot, I don't know if it'll be as close as Pats fans might want us to have it. I think the Bills have a way better team than us. One thing we have, of course, over them is coaching. But when it comes to firepower, when it comes to the energy, when it comes to talent, I think the Bills take the cake in that area. So I got the Bills, Pats, Dolphins, and Jets.
I agree. It's like it was scary for the Pats fans playing the Bills last year. I think they should have beaten us. But
it's always close against the Bills.
Yeah, they're a good team. They got good defense. They got good offense.
There've been some blowouts, but
yeah, I think it's gonna go Bills with the 1 seed. You know, Sean McDermott, he's a pretty good coach. Stephon Diggs coming in, I think he'll have a big impact. Josh Allen, sleeper pick for MVP. And then I think second place is going to be the Dolphins. They had a lot of draft picks this year, even if they just hit on like half of them. That'll like still be a good job. And then the Patriots, just losing Tom Brady, Jamie Collins, and Kyle Van Noy. Those are all big hits. And then I think the Jets, they kind of just suck, so they'll be last place. And yeah, I don't really believe in Sam Darnold. So,
DJ.
Bills, Pats, Dolphins, Jets.
Pretty similar there.
So next, let's take it to the NFC, but the East as well. So NFC East, we got the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Redskins.
I'm gonna go Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Redskins. That's just I don't think I have to go too much into it. I don't think it's a strong division looking at last year. I think the Cowboys with a new coach could take that next step. Eagles, maybe more healthy roster, gave Wentz some weapons, give some speed on that offense could help. So, they could push 9-7, 10-6, but like I said, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Redskins.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Redskins. I don't think the Redskins will be able to make a run at anything this year. I don't think they gained, even though they got Chase Young. I don't think they'll be able to do anything at all.
Yeah, watching the Redskins occasionally on NFL Network, it was more like bloopers and stuff that they did wrong. You didn't really see too much. It was a lot of Dwayne Haskins jokes, and AP's getting up there in age, and even so yeah, I don't know if you guys are true believers in Dwayne Haskins, but I still have hope in him. I kind of see him as another version of a Ben Roethlisberger, but in a slightly worse way in comparison to athleticism and arm strength. Although his accuracy is a little on the weak side, but if there is any chance that Dwayne Haskins can prove to the Giants at any point in his career that he should have been the pick over Daniel Jones, then this should be the season for him. And I kind of see him taking the Redskins. I kind of see him proving some of the doubters wrong. And the Giants, ever since they I know I'm an Odell fan, but I feel like ever since they lost Odell, they've kind of just been like lost in their future. This draft, they didn't take anybody spectacular, but they still have Daniel Jones. They still have Sterling Shepard, and of course Saquon.
They got Golden Tate, right?
Yeah.
They got a good lineman from there. They got a good lineman from there.
Slayton. I like Slayton.
Thomas from Georgia.
Yeah, Darius Slayton. Yeah.
Yeah, but I see the Giants, and then they added Jason Garrett, of course, but I see the Giants at the bottom of that division. And then at the top, I got the Cowboys smoking everybody else. And then so I got Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins, Giants.
Oh, the Giants got a good new head coach. I don't know. I think we should talk about him. The Pats wide receivers coach.
Judge.
I don't know anything about him.
I heard a story one time from a source, and it was that in a special teams or when he was a wide receivers coach at a meeting, he tried chirping Edelman to make an example out of him in front of the other receivers. And Edelman yelled at him in front of the rest of the team, and he had to get kicked out of the room and continued yelling at Joe Judge for the rest of the time.
A lot of respect for Joe Judge. Also, Jalen, Alex Smith is he making a return this year or?
God, that's crazy with that, how that's working.
Yeah.
I think he might be done, sadly.
Like I just saw a video the other day of him like getting ready. I'm like, wait, what?
He's fighting back.
All right.
Colin, what do you got for NFC East standings?
I'm going to start out with the bottom. So I think the Redskins will be the worst. I think midway through the year, they'll realize, wow, Dwayne Haskins sucks. So I think then they're just going to tank for Trevor Lawrence or maybe Justin Fields. And then in third place, I have the Giants. I'd like Daniel Jones. I think he'll be decent. Saquon Barkley, obviously one of the best running backs in the league. And then second place, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think losing Byron Jones really hurts.
You're confusing me.
So you just said fourth is Redskins. You're gonna have the Cowboys at 2.
Yeah. And then I think that losing Byron Jones hurts. Dak Prescott don't even have a contract done yet.
They got the Red Rifle.
Yeah, again, it's Andy Dalton. And then number 1, I think I'm gonna go with my boy EDP and pick the Eagles. I don't know what they did in the draft this year. I don't know why I drafted Jalen Hurts. I think he could have been good if he wasn't. They'll probably try to use him as a running back, which makes no sense to me.
I don't think they're going to use him as a running back.
They're like 2 quarterback system. I don't know what that is.
I think they're going to try and use him as a Taysom Hill type player.
I believe in Carson Wentz. I think he.
By the way, this needs to be said on the podcast. I was playing PlayStation with Fallon one day, and he goes, "I think the Pats should take Jalen Hurts and play him at linebacker."
I don't remember saying that.
You did say that.
That sounds false.
You
That is
did
an
say that.
allegation that I don't agree with.
Oh, you did say that.
TJ, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Redskins.
I'm going Eagle, Cowboys, Redskins, Giants.
Ooh.
I'm feeling a big year for Jalen Hurts this year. He's gonna. I think he's gonna get in there, do whatever he can. Like I think he's gonna.
Dwayne
Like,
Haskins or
I mean, not more. I think Chase Young is gonna bring like a different type of mentality, like that like their defense hasn't seen. Like he's gonna change their he's gonna come in there and be like the best DN in the league. I believe. Like the things he did in college, like unmatched. Like he should have won Heisman. Like I don't know why he didn't. Like it's ridiculous. He's a different guy.
All right. So next 4, let's continue the NFC. We'll take it to the NFC North. We got the Bears, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers.
Now, this is a tough division. I think we're all going to be pretty similar with our bottom, and we're going to go with the Detroit Lions.
You're on mute, Jack.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I think these other 3 besides the Lions being at the bottom are interesting because, you can look at the Bears, Packers, or Vikings and make a case for any of them. But, I'm going to go with the Packers and Vikings tying, with the same record. I'm thinking they both go like 11-5. But I think the Packers win the head-to-head. They usually handle the Vikings pretty well, especially with Rodgers under center. So they're going to win the division. I'm going to go Vikings 2, same record. Bears 3, Lions bottom.
Right. Yeah, I think the Lions are going to be the bottom again. I don't think they got a running back, but I don't think they got any more power in there. I don't know how many more years Stafford is going to be in the league for. I just don't think he has much more in the tank, but I think it's also a good toss-up between the Packers, Bears, and Vikings. I think I see the Bears finishing third. I have absolutely no faith in Trubisky. I just don't think he can do it at all, and I don't think. Yeah, their defense is pretty good. I just don't think they have the offense to outmatch the Vikings and the Packers. And I don't think they can they can beat them. I think I see the Vikings at 1 and Packers at 2 this year. I think they're gonna be a game apart, but I think I see the Vikings ahead of them. I like the add of Justin Jefferson, and I think Dalvin Cook will full front that offense. So I think they get the one spot.
I feel like we're kind of being a little disrespectful to the Lions. If I remember correctly, they seemed like a pretty competitive team in the NFL to start the year last year, and then just things went sideways. But I do remember them seeming like a threat. They still have Kenny Galladay. I'm pretty sure they still have Marvin Jones. They took Jeffrey Okudah, who's just different at corner. Although did they lose Darius Slay?
They trade him to the Eagles.
Yeah, they did lose Darius Slay. So I think Okudah he fits in right there. And then they took DeAndre Swift. Like Matthew Stafford still got it. It's not like he lost it. So I got I'm also, and I don't want to try to do too much with a hot take, but I do see the Vikings and the Lions fighting for that 2 spot. But I'm gonna give it to the Vikings. I think the Lions will get at least 9 or 10 wins. And the Vikings will get a good 11. And then I got the Packers getting 12 or 13, but the Packers got the first seed. Gives 2 to the Vikings, but coming in close at 3 is the Lions, and then the Bears are just a lost cause. I don't know why people still believe in Nick Foles or what is good with them, but I got them at 4.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you here. The Bears, they are idiotic. I don't know if they cut any of their tight ends, but right now I think they have 10 tight ends on their roster. Usually it's not good to have 10 tight ends. And they didn't have much draft capital this year because of the Khalil Mack trade. And they used one of their draft picks on a position that they already had a surplus on, which made no sense to me. And I think so they'll finish last. And then ranking 3, I'm going to go with the Lions. I think they will be fighting with the Vikings but they'll be fighting with the Vikings and the Packers for the 1 seed. But I think they'll be like very close. I love Matt Stafford. He'll sling it anywhere. And Derek Brown or Jeffrey Okudah, that was a good draft pick. And the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, top 5 running back in the league easily. Kirk Cousins, not the best quarterback in the NFL, I'll be honest, but he gets the job done. And then you got the Packers at the 1 seed. I think they'll maybe get 10 wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if this year or next year is Aaron Rodgers' last year on the Packers, just because they drafted Jordan Love, and I don't know how he'll feel about that.
TJ?
Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions.
Enough said.
There you go. Straight to the point.
Simple.
What's next, Jalen?
Next is the AFC North. We got the Bengals. We got Ben Roethlisberger back for the Steelers. We got Odell, Baker, and Jarvis with the Browns. And then we got MVP Lamar. Let's hear it.
I got I'm going to be a little more TJ here. I got the Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals.
Jack Schneider.
Yeah, I got the Ravens going. I think the Steelers will do better than the Browns this year. I think the Browns have a ton of weapons, but they don't know how to utilize all of them in a good chemistry-like way. I think they got they got Austin Hooper, tight end. They got a good lineman from the draft. Right? Was it lineman? Was it O lineman?
Yeah.
But I just don't think they know what to do with all those weapons they have. So I see them in the 3 spot, and I don't think the Bengals will get rolling yet with Joe Burrow. I just need some time to develop, and that team needs to develop. So I do love T. Higgins. Love T. Higgins with Joe Burrow. That's going to be fun to watch for the future. So keep that on the radar.
Yeah, so mine, I obviously got the Ravens at the 1. I don't think there's any stopping them. But coming in at the 2, coming in hot, what were they, 7-9 last year?
Yep.
They're getting at least 10 wins this year, at least. I think the problem was that head coach. I like forced myself to not remember him, but Freddie Kitchens. He was garbage. He was just terrible, and I was so happy when they finally got rid of him and they brought in I think it was the Vikings offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they got the fresh start that they needed. Odell didn't really have the season that he needed to have to be up there and considered one of the top receivers in the league. And so he's coming different. Baker knows that he has a lot to improve on, and I hope that maturity has set in by now. But I see the Browns getting at least 10 wins this year, and they're coming in at number 2. And then I got the Steelers and the Bengals. Never really believed in the Steelers. I think Juju Smith and Ben Roethlisberger are both overrated. Ben coming off that shoulder injury. So, yeah, put them at 3. And then the Bengals won't be nearly as bad as last year. They got Burrow, Mixon, but they'll still be down there at 4.
I think Baker has a lot to prove this year. Or if this year he tanks it, I think people will be turning their heads somewhere else. I don't know. You can't have all those weapons and not be able to use them or look like you got to execute. I feel like this is a big year for Baker, and he's got to know that.
And the Browns, I think their defense is underrated. They brought in Grant Delpit, who I love at LSU, and then to go with they have the strong corner duo of what's the Ohio State's Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think their defense is underrated, but I just see them having a breakout season. Colin.
Yeah, so I'm agreeing with Jalen on most of this, or all this actually. The Ravens easily the top. Lamar Jackson, best quarterback in that division by far. And then with the Browns, Baker Mayfield, I think he'll step up a little bit this year. There'll be questions if they should replace him after this year. But I really have no belief in the Steelers in the 3rd seed. I think Big Ben will probably get injured again. I don't remember the last time they played a whole year. And then the Bengals, I think they'll be a lot better than last year, but their entire team just like they're still not up. They're still not ready to compete with the big boys like the Ravens.
TJ?
The Ravens, I think they're gonna do something special this year. Like, I think they're gonna lose only 1 or 2 games. And then I'm going Cleveland. I like their team. You know, Kareem Hunt, Odell. Like they have talent all over the place. Baker Mayfield, if he matures. And then you guys might not agree with this, but the Bengals, like I think they might like they're obviously not gonna like make the playoffs, but they're gonna have a season with T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. And I'm not liking the Steelers. They haven't done anything to improve. I mean the Watt. I like Watt. That's a good player, but besides that, like they don't have anything.
The thing with the Bengals on me, just quickly, you know, I like Burrow a lot, but college defense is so much different than NFL. There's way more man run in college. So I'm interested to see how he does, you know, with that poor O-line. But, you know, the weapons could help him. You know, if Mixon could run the ball well, that could help him too. So I'm interested in seeing that.
So for these next few divisions, is it fine if we flip the order just to get a little different?
Yeah, go ahead.
So TJ, you'll be going first, and then Colin, then me, Schneider, Thorborn. So I want to take it to the AFC West. We got the Broncos, the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. TJ.
Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. That's
I honestly think
Mahomes.
Mahomes, best quarterback in the league. But
Second.
I think this will be the best division in football this year. I think all teams could easily be above 500. But at first place, obviously, I have the Chiefs, who I think they might repeat as Super Bowl champs. And then the second, the Broncos. I love Drew Lock. He brings that swagger to the field. Jerry Jeudy, they got him with the 15th pick. They didn't need to trade up to get him. They also drafted a receiver in the 2nd round, so he'll probably be good too. I love Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, Phillip Lindsay. They also brought in Melvin Gordon. That offense is looking stacked. And then on defense, Von Miller. He'll always bring the intensity. And then third place, got to give it to the Raiders. I think Derek Carr will do his usual. Will do what he usually does. Have a lot of completions, not throw too many interceptions. Play it a little safe. Josh Jacobs, he's an up-and-coming running back. Henry Ruggs, I didn't really like that draft pick. I would have picked CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. but it just adds a couple of weapons. And then last place, the Chargers. I like Tyrod Taylor, but he's not really like I call him like a safe quarterback. Maybe they throw in Justin Herbert during the middle of the year, although they're getting Derwin James back, so that should help. The defense should be a lot better. I think the offense will take a little step back without Melvin Gordon and Philip Rivers.
Yeah, so mine is going to be a little similar to Collins, but number one, I obviously have the Chiefs. That's self-explanatory, but 2, 3, and 4 gets a little jumbled. The Broncos have kind of been irrelevant. I feel like since Peyton left, since they were in that Super Bowl, nobody really talks about the Broncos, and then they went and got the most irrelevant quarterback last year in Joe Flacco. But it's about time that they get a fresh face at QB. I also like Drew Lock and his shenanigans on the sideline. But I do wish that they brought in a quarterback like Cam to take them to that next level, because they definitely have, like Cam as in Cam Newton, they definitely have that roster firepower to be a threat in the playoffs. But I don't think Drew Lock will exactly get them there. But I do think that he'll get them the second seed. And then at 3, I'm going to have to go with Derek Carr. Unlike Colin, I like the Henry Ruggs pick. I think that they want to use him. They view him as the next coming of a Tyreek Hill. But I think he'll be really useful in the quick pass, the slants, those type of games rather than the deep balls, because he is on the smaller side. But I think they'll find a way to make it work. I think Derek Carr is underrated. They always talk about replacing him for some reason, and I'm always confused by that. But I got the Raiders coming in 3rd, and then the Chargers. I don't think they made any improvements. They brought in Tyrod. I don't know how I feel about Tyrod, but I'm just glad they got rid of Philip Rivers. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Jalen and Colin with the order. I think Chiefs no brainer. I think it's going to be a real battle for second place. I think it's going to go back and forth between all those 3 teams the whole season. I do agree with the Broncos in 2nd and the Raiders in 3rd, and Chargers. I just don't. From watching them last year, they relied on big plays. I don't think they really played as like a full team. I think Phil Rivers, I like that he's gone, so they can rebuild and have a fresh start. So I think Broncos 2, Raiders 3, Chargers 4.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs 1. The Broncos thing is seeing Locke come in the second year, seeing how teams are going to game plan against them. But I think going into Mile High, with those weapons, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough place to play against the Broncos. So I'm going to pick them at 2 right now. Just as early prediction, I could change, but I'm going to go Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers.
All right, next we're going to take to the NFC West. We got the Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks, and the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. TJ?
You're muted.
Muted.
49ers 1, Seahawks 2, and what were the other 2 teams?
49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals.
Oh, Rams 3, Cardinals 4.
Yeah, I think that this might be the best division in the NFC. I think it'll be a battle for 1 and 2 between the 49ers and the Seahawks, and I think the 49ers will come through. They'll be the top of the division. The Seahawks will be right behind them. And the Chargers, the Cardinals, they had a great draft, and they also traded for DeAndre Hopkins. And I love Isaiah Simmons. He can play anywhere on the defensive side. And I think they'll easily be the 3rd seed. And I think the Rams are going to really struggle this year. They traded away Todd Gurley, got rid of Clay Matthews. Jared Goff, not a big fan of him. So I think that they'll be the bottom of the division this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ride off what Colin was saying. It's kind of sad to see the Rams and Sean McVay on this like downward path, but I think the time is back to improve the Rams. So number one, I'm gonna have the Seahawks. I'm not even gonna take the Niners. As I said earlier, I don't see them repeating what they did last year. So I'm gonna take the Seahawks at number 1. Number 2, I think, will be a battle between the Cardinals and the Niners. I think the Cardinals did what they had to do this offseason. They supported Kyler with DeAndre Hopkins to go with, like, what's his name's Christian Wood, I think.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk, yeah, I really like him. But I really like him as a number 2 receiver. He was never meant to be a number 1, and that was their issue last year. But of course, they got top 3 receiver in the league, and then Isaiah Simmons is just if they utilize him in the right way, I think he can really be one of the best defenders in the league. He's just so versatile, so fast, and so powerful at the same time. So I'm gonna take a hot take and put the Cardinals at 2. I'm gonna go Seahawks, Cardinals, Niners, Rams.
All right. I want the Cardinals to be good, but I just don't think they'll be in the 2 spot. I want them to be good, but I have I have to agree with you, the Seahawks. I think they're going to be the one. I think I feel like they're so strong, and they know how to play as a team. They know what to do to win, and yeah, I want to see what the 49ers do this year. I don't know if they were a fluke or not, but I know they're a good team. So I'm just going to see what happens. But I do think the Seahawks and Russell Wilson are gonna get that one. And I think the Cardinals will definitely be in 3rd. But I do want to be good. But I think Kyler needs a little more time to mature, figure out NFL defenses, and learn to get chemistry with DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk and all his other weapons. And then I just think the Rams. I want the Rams to fully fall apart. I don't like them. I don't like their strategy of trading away every pick ever to just get players to see if they can win and just pull shit out of their can't say pull stuff out of their butt and try to build this ultimate team. I just love that the Pats beat them in the Super Bowl when they had that ultimate team. I want them to fall apart. So I'm hoping they get bottom of the division.
You guys are sleeping on the Rams.
Dude, their new logo is so bad. I just can't even look at it.
I mean, it is bad.
I can't. I'm putting them 4th because of their logo. I'm going Seahawks. I think the Niners take a step back. I don't think it's as drastic as the Rams, but I think it's similar. Young quarterback can't perform in the big stage in the Super Bowl, and then they take a step back the next year after people get a full year of film. So I'm having them like a 9-7. Cardinals pushing that spot 8-8, 9-7. So Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals, Rams.
All right, 2 more divisions to go. We got the AFC South next. The Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans. TJ.
Texans, Titans, Colts, Jaguars. Jaguars. I don't like what the Jaguars are doing. Kind of like this.
What are they doing?
I don't like. Do you guys what do you guys think is gonna happen to Leonard? Fournette?
It's running back is, in my opinion, kind of an irrelevant position in the NFL, and his prime is better than most, and I think it's getting wasted.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know they declined his 5th-year option, so I think he'll just walk somewhere next year. Maybe go to a team like the Colts who just get a lot of running backs. But I definitely think that the Jaguars will finish at the bottom of the division. And then in 3rd place, I want to say the Titans, but I'm going to have to pick the Colts because I don't really know what they were thinking with picking up Phillip Rivers. I think he is way past his prime, and I just rolled Jacoby Brissett, but they clearly don't want to do that. And I think I'm going to put the Titans at 2. Just because they couldn't sign Jack Conklin this offseason. That's probably going to hurt the offensive line. Derrick Henry, obviously a beast of a human being, but I just don't think he'll be able to carry them to the 1 seed this year. And I hate to say this, but because I hate the Texans, because Bill O'Brien, I just think he's an idiot. He traded away DeAndre Hopkins and then traded for Brandon Cooks. And I just think DeAndre Hopkins is vastly better than Brandon Cooks. And Bill O'Brien, he's just been making some terrible moves, but Deshaun Watson's just going to carry that team to the 1 seed.
I'm going to disagree with the 1 seed. I'm gonna have the Titans at the 1 seed. I think everyone in this division is going to struggle this year, but they'll pick up their wins against each other, figure it out. But I got the 1 seed going to the Titans. I just watching Derrick Henry just dominate last year. I don't care how much you game plan for him, stack as many as you want in the box. Like, he's still gonna pick up his at least 3 yards per carry. And then in receivers, they got AJ Brown, who I think is an animal. He definitely could have got the ball a lot more than he did, but I think he will this year. They'll figure out a way to balance the passing and running, and then their defense is one of the best. So I'm gonna put the Titans at 1. I think Bill O'Brien single-handedly ruined the potential of the Texans, but they'll still come in at 2 due to the horrible play of the Colts and the Jaguars. I got the Colts at 3, Jaguars at 4. I don't believe in Gardner Minshew. I don't care how pretty his mustache is. There's better quarterbacks out there that they could have brought in, but if Gardner Minshew sells tickets and that's what they want, then so be it. Have fun in the 4th spot.
Yeah, I agree with the Titans going 1 and winning the division. I think, Derrick Henry's just an animal. I think everyone knows, like, there's no surprise that Derrick Henry's just gonna pound the rock and just try to run over you. I just can't stop him. He's a freak athlete. I love AJ Brown as well. I think Tannehill's got some potential, and their defense is definitely strong. I think just a good, solid team that plays well together. I think it's gonna be close between the Colts and the Texans, but I think the Texans will beat the Colts by a game. Deshaun Watson's just too good. He'll find a way. I do not like the move. Yeah, Bill O'Brien is just he's a terrible coach. I really hope I hope the Texans get 3rd, but I just don't think they will. And then I think the Colts with Phillip Rivers, I think I don't know why. I don't know. I would have trusted Jacoby Brissett. I think I would have kept building on him and not just give money to Phillip Rivers for like one mediocre season. He's not really going to do anything for you guys. And then the Jaguars, nothing's going for them. Nothing's going for them. I don't like nothing. They're going to be 4th. They're going to be probably one of the worst teams in the NFL for sure. I think maybe 3 wins max.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that.
I like the Titans 1. The game plan, I'm interested in seeing what Tannehill does. You know, they learn a lot of play action. They could have got AJ Brown the ball more. But every time I'd watch Tannehill throw the ball, I was like nervous for some reason. I don't know why, especially in that game.
Because he's from the Dolphins. It's like you just don't know his potential at all, I feel like.
True. So he's a great athlete. But I do like the Titans 1. I'm looking at this Colts-Texans, and I was thinking of maybe putting the Colts number 2 because the situation Rivers is going in when he's had his best years under this, under the coach he's going back here with. But I'm going to put the Texans 2 because I like Deshaun's, ability to improvise, ability to make plays. Maybe we see David Johnson have a good year. I don't know. I'm not, going to make a prediction on that, but I'm going to go Titans, Texans, Colts, Jaguars.
All right, and last but not least,
here we go.
Save the best division for last. TJ, speak on the NFC South. We got the Falcons, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers.
This is going to be the best division easily. I'm sorry to say the Panthers, they're going to compete, but they're not gonna be as well as they're not gonna be as good as the other team. Teddy Bridgewater is gonna come in and make a difference.
Can we give records for this division?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ooh. Panthers 8-8. I think they split it.
This number 4.
Yeah, number 4. Falcons number 3. They go 9-7. Ooh, this is hard. I think I'm gonna say the Saints go 13-3. But I think Brady follows right behind with 12-4. He's gonna have a great season. he's gonna ball out. But
Love it.
I think the Saints they have something to prove. They're coming. They're like I don't think they're gonna make it far like as always because like I don't know how like other teams are just better, but they're gonna do what they do.
Yeah. I think this is definitely one of the stronger divisions. The Panthers. I like that they brought in Matt Rule. He brought Baylor back from kind of mediocrity to a very good team. And I like what they did in the offseason by bringing in Teddy Bridgewater. I like DJ Moore. It's pretty good offense. Christian McCaffrey, best running back in the league. But I only think they'll win 6 games just because the other teams in this division. I think the Falcons, maybe they get 7, maybe they go 7-9. I know that they got a lot of good pieces this year, like Todd Gurley, Hayden Hurst, but I just don't think it can compete with the Saints or the Bucks. And I think the Saints and the Bucks are both going to go 12-4, and I think the Bucks will have the tiebreaker. I believe in Brady. Yeah, I think he's going to be very good this year. No, not a Patrick Mahomes, but definitely an MVP candidate.
So yeah, I think the Falcons' biggest problem is their defense, and they didn't really do too much in the draft to help that. I mean, their first pick, they took A.J. Terrell, and I do not like A.J. Terrell. If you remember, he got like, can't swear, but he got destroyed in the national championship game by Jamar Chase. And I'll just always remember that number 8 Clemson corner who could not guard Jamar Chase. That was just sad to watch. And then he got picked, I think, like 15, something really early. And if you can't guard Jamar Chase, what makes you think you could go up against the best of the best? So they didn't really do too much to help their defense in the draft, at least. But on the flip side, I know the Panthers got that D end out of Penn State who I really wanted the Pats to take. I think his name's Matos something, but so yeah, the Panthers, I think they did what they had to do to try and move on as best as they can from a Cam Newton, but I still have them finishing 4th. I don't know if they go 8-8, as TJ said, but I think they might hit like 7-9. I do have somewhat faith in Teddy Bridgewater. And then at 3, I got the Falcons. Todd Gurley he's never going to be the same. He has the arthritis issue. He can't really get fed. I think this is a topic for another day, but I think his retirement will come a little earlier than most running backs. But there's always Julio and there's always Matty Ice, so I think that'll be enough to take them to the 3rd. And in the 2nd, Falcons record, I'm gonna give them 9-7. And then in the 2nd place, I'm going to the Tom Brady's Buccaneers. I think their defense still shows like empty holes, but they won't be nearly as bad. Their record, I'm going to give them 11-5. And then Drew Brees and the Saints. They're always that team that's just nice in the regular season, but can never do what they got to do in the playoffs. And I feel like this might be another one of those years. I got their regular season record at 13-3.
Yep. I go Panthers 4, 6-10. I don't think they can compete with the rest of the division. I think McCaffrey has another big year, but just don't think as a team they can produce enough wins to compete with the Saints or the Bucks. I think the Falcons go 8-8. I think Ricardo Allen was hurt the whole last season for the Falcons. I think it'll be good to get him back, get a good safety in him. And I don't think they can. They have good offense, but their defense can't match up against the Saints and the Bucks either. And I think I get the Bucks at 11-5. I think they struggle in the beginning of the season trying to get this new team together and see what they can do, but I feel like they're gonna hit the after like week 5. I feel like they're gonna hit a good stretch, and then I get Saints at 12-4. I think that's a safe spot for them. I feel like 13-3. I'm pushing that, but I think safe play 12-4.
Right. So I'm liking the Panthers at 6-10 too. I think, tough divisional games. They're playing tough out of division games too. Good team, competitive, a lot of close games, but 6-10 I think is realistic. Then I'm looking at the Falcons at an 8-8 or a 9-7. Like I said, same thing. Tough in division, tough out of division. I think they're more ready than the Panthers are to compete, but they don't have the firepower to go up with that Chiefs, team or that Bucks or that Saints right now. I think they get those 2 extra wins. One of them could be from the Panthers, and then maybe they push 9-7. My number 2 spot, I got the New Orleans Saints going 12-4.
Surprised.
Obviously great team. I think it's good. They're going to be 12-4. They're going to be consistent. They're going to control the clock like they have been with Breeze at this point in his career. Kamara's going to have a bounce back season. If that team can stay healthy, they're going to be obviously very dangerous. I mean, even last year without a healthy Breeze, they went 5-0. So we'll see where that goes. There's going to be some fun games to watch. But I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 13-3. I've got Tom Brady having an electric year. I've got, if it would have been hard for me to do this, but if there was no Gronk, I don't know if I would have put them at 13-3. But I think that first 4-game stretch, they go 3-1 with that first loss to the Saints because of Gronk, because he's able to block, he's able to run routes Tom wants, he's able to communicate with the other receivers, and they're going to get on the same page quicker than if he weren't there. And I got them, going on some big win streaks. I got them pushing the ball downfield, a great offense, great aggressive front seven, high scoring games. Brady time is prime time, 13-3, number 1 seed in the NFC.
I love it.
Do you think that Peyton Barber, he's their lead back, right?
Ronald Jones.
Then they draft a guy too.
Yeah, they took a kid from Vanderbilt.
So do you think I don't think their run game is going to be good at all. So do you think they'll just be a full-time passing team, maybe run like 10 times a game?
I mean, you look at what the Pats have done, minus that year we beat the Patriots were able to beat the Rams when they switched to more of a running offense, but had Brady throw. It's always been, push the ball downfield. You're not running a lot. Use the backs, and I think it's going to be that way. People talk about, Arians just like throwing it deep, but I think that was just Winston, who obviously great talent, didn't want to take the check down a lot. They used to say about the Patriots is, their running game is throwing the football. They throw the football short, they pick up yards. I think it's be back to that. That kid from Vanderbilt's shifty. Godwin can come underneath. Evans can come underneath, and then they're going to be able to hit that play action across the field to Gronk. They're going to be able to hit the seam, something Brady wasn't able to do last year. So I think they'll be running it between 10 to 20 times, depending on, how much clock control they're going to have to go. But I really like the offense and Tom throwing it between 30 and 40 times a game.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I'm really excited to see Brady have Brady not have Josh McDaniels on his team right now. I don't know. I feel like Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. I mean, Brady's best years, minus the 2007 year, have come with Bill O'Brien. And I think O'Brien pushing the ball down the field a little more. And I think
towards the end of his Brady's career on the Pats, I just did not like the play calling. It frustrated the heck out of me, and I think that was a lot to do with Daniels.
Yeah, it's already 10 o'clock. That kind of flew.
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll call it after here, and we'll do another one soon. We'll just go over specific players. But what do you guys think? You think big year from the Bucks?
Oh yeah.
So I want to close it off with predictions, Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, I'll go first. I got the first home Super Bowl. I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning. Against the Ravens or Chiefs, doesn't matter. They'll show up. They're going to roll. It's going to be a great game. We're going to see a terrific Tom Brady comeback, maybe hitting Gronk in the end zone, maybe hitting Evans, maybe hitting Godwin. We don't know. Maybe AB shows up out of nowhere. Whole lot of money. I don't know. I got the Bucs winning the Super Bowl. I'm kidding about that AB thing.
Yeah, you never know though. He might be on the Chiefs.
Imagine.
I'm just scared.
You go, Jalen.
I think Lamar. I'm gonna take the Ravens. Their playoff performance was lackluster. they freaking lost to the Titans, but so did the Pats. But at the same time, Lamar and the Titans should not be on the same level. Lamar needs to show that he can compete with a Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is up on him a ring, and I'm so excited for this next generation of QBs. It's going to be Mahomes and Lamar just leading the way, and it's going to be that way next season. But I got Lamar taking the cake.
I'm gonna agree with Jalen here. Like Lamar, he's just him and that Raven team. I think for another like 4 or 5 years, like they're not gonna win consistently, but they're gonna be like a strong team with Lamar leading the pack. He's
What do you mean they're not going to win consistently? You just said they're going to only lose one game.
I mean, like they're not gonna win the Super Bowl consistently.
Oh,
like
okay.
they're not gonna win like 4 or 5. Like
I
that'd
thought
be,
you meant for next season.
yeah.
No,
You know, with the Ravens, I wish they got one more receiver.
Yeah, me too.
I think
Antonio Brown.
AB would have tipped it off, but they
Yeah,
They still have time.
Do you think there's a chance he signs with them? Or?
Easily, yes.
I mean,
Well,
Yes.
I think that their problem is that they're afraid he's going to mess up the growth of a Lamar with his ego. But I think AB will – I have a little more belief than most, but I just feel like AB will get his stuff together eventually and figure it out. And I think that could be with the Ravens. And if that happens, it's over for the league.
Yeah, I like how they've like Hollywood, Lamar and AB have been training together. That really excites me. I hate the Ravens, but that gets me fired up because that's so cool. Those three together would be unreal. And I have to go with the Bucks and the Ravens in the championship. I want the Bucks. I think I agree with Jack. I don't know.
Some magic in the air in Tampa Bay.
So magic.
Tampa Bay.
Like Gronk just I can't wait to see him back in the league.
Tampa Bay Gronkaneers.
Mike Evans is gonna dominate. Chris Godwin's gonna go off again. Who are you gonna cover? Who are you gonna double team? You can't double team. Like you got OJ Howard too. It's just too much. Too much.
Crazy.
I know.
Colin?
You know, this might be a shocker to you guys, but I think it's going to be the 49ers.
Ooh.
Who's your Super Bowl MVP?
Jimmy G last year was really his first year as a starting quarterback for a whole season. I think he'll take a big step this year. They have one of the most expensive backfields in the league. They love running the football. Jarrett McKinnon, I think he'll take a good step, or a healthy step, I should say. They have the best tight end in the NFL currently with Kittle Corn, makes the nickname Jack. The defense, Richard Sherman, he's still elite. Nick Bosa, second year. I think the team's just going to get better, and I think whoever they play in the Super Bowl, they will dominate, especially if it's Lamar Jackson.
Who do they play? Lamar?
I think actually, no, I think I don't want to say a rematch, but I'm going to go with Lamar. They play the Ravens and Lamar, and I think they smack the Ravens 40-24. I believe in Kittle Corn and Jimmy Gucci Garoppolo.
If the game isn't 20 points apiece, then it's not a game.
Yeah, according to Fallon. Kind of reminds me of our Madden game when I beat you 56-21 the other week.
All right, so that'll be all this week.
And on that note, thank you for tuning in to our NFL episode of Cookies and Cream. And we'll catch you next time.
Next episode, quickly, we got a special guest. We got Tommy DiMatteo coming in to talk about his upcoming Thayer football season and his possible switch to tight end. So we'll see how that goes. All right.
All right. Peace.